according to sources to Fox News Digital, this all comes on the heels of a heated argument between FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino and Attorney General Pam Bondi that occurred on Wednesday at the White House over the Justice Department's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files. And this after the DOJ and FBI on Sunday released a joint review walking back its claims about an Epstein celebrity client list that apparently never existed. Sources also saying Bongino is considering resigning and took a day off from work on Friday due to his frustrations.
Is it clear where Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino, his career is headed tonight?
No, it's not clear, even to White House officials, Anderson, who were texting each other and texting me this morning asking, whether or not they had figured out if he had shown up to work today, because it was still an open question in Washington this morning if he was going to be back at the FBI today. And of course, he did eventually show up. We were told he had spent the weekend in Florida after not going there on Friday. But when it comes to what you just mentioned there about the relationship being untenable with the White House, he is staying in the job for right now. He is still the Deputy Director of the FBI right now, and he hasn't resigned or been fired. But the relationship has deteriorated so much that there are officials inside the White House who have not spoken to Dan Bongino in days, even though, of course, the question of whether or not he was still going to be employed by the federal government was still a big one for officials over the weekend. And I was told the president was very angry with Dan Bongino.
Dan Bongino has made Trump angry. Dan Bongino's not going to work. Trump don't go to work either. He goes golfing. Put it up full mast. I have a hell of a story to tell you. Fox News and CNN reported that Dan Bongino, the Deputy Director of the FBI, is feuding with the Attorney General of the United States and Trump due to the Epstein files. President Donald Trump reportedly became, quote, very angry with Deputy Director Dan Bongino after he failed to turn up to work on Friday in protest over U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi's controversial handling of files related to the late known sex offender, Jeffrey Epstein. Can we back up just for a moment? Let's just back up. Ironically, he may have more integrity than everybody in that executive cabinet level. The reason is because he clearly, just like every single one of them before they got that job, said the Epstein files are real. Some of them already worked in government, and they knew the Epstein files had the smoking gun, the list of individuals who were in connection to this. All of them said it. None of them really knew each other prior. All of them said the same thing. They're now working for the same agency. One person is starting to show distance from the administration. President Donald Trump has come to the defense of Attorney General Pam Bondi amid all of the revolt among his MAGA base over the administration's handling of Jeffrey Epstein files. But his effort over the weekend to quell the outrage only seemed to add fuel to the fire. If you remember, Trump is the one who said, hey, we're still talking about Epstein. We got Texas, we have this, we have that. Yeah, because that's what you campaigned on. Sir, you echoed the sentiment of MAGA. You said you would release these files in an interview. You kind of hesitated, but you did say it. And the people that you picked, that you selected to be the guys in charge of the investigation, they were hardcore Epstein file release people. So yeah, your crowd, you and the people you selected were all on the same page until, quote, what's going on with my boys? And in some cases, Gail. They're all going after Attorney General Pam Bondi, who was doing a fantastic job. We're on one team, MAGA. And I don't like what's happening. Trump wrote a lengthy post to his conservative social media platform on Saturday evening. Quote, we have a perfect, in all caps, administration. The talk of the world. and selfish people are trying to hurt it all over a guy who never dies, Jeffrey Epstein. Trump continued. Trump's post was ratioed, meaning the post received far more replies than likes or repost, often a sign of widespread disapproval, despite Trump's platform, Truth Social, being home to many of his most diehard supporters. Now, here's what's happening, and Trump doesn't realize it. Trump is antithetical to the movement of MAGA, and the movement of MAGA, hardcore conspiracy theorist, yes. But this theory happens to be one with much more credibility than the other theories they have posed. And Trump, instead of understanding his position in this, has decided to become the head dictator against it, while at the same time being the person who championed their support in order to bring them the results of their conspiracy. Now, it's not a conspiracy theory if you do have the meeting of more than one mind, meaning two or more people have said something happened. You have multiple people saying there is a list. You have multiple individuals saying somehow Donald Trump has become part of the cover-up, including Alex Jones, Candace Owens, and more. Democrats are having fun with it. As I said before, Democrats, if you know what you're doing, in DC, all of the experts and strategists don't talk about nothing else but Epstein to MAGA people. Nothing else. Don't say a damn word about the budget. They don't care about that. They'll vote against their own self-interest in order to keep some of this ridiculous political play going. But if you stay on Epstein with MAGA, that's a winning point for them and for you. Here it is.
Last few days, a number of members of your caucus have been posting and engaging in some of the discourse about Jeffrey Epstein. Is this appropriate for your members to be doing so? Do you want to see any action on that front?
The American people deserve to know the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth as it relates to this whole sordid Jeffrey Epstein matter. Democrats didn't put the Jeffrey Epstein thing into the public domain. This was a conspiracy that Donald Trump, Pam Bondi, and these MAGA extremists have been fanning the flames of for the last several years. And now the chickens are coming home to roost. What are you hiding? If you're not hiding anything, prove that to the American people. And if you are trying to hide something, as many of Donald Trump's MAGA supporters apparently believe, then the Congress should actually work hard to try to uncover the truth for the American people.
Listen, man, I don't know what games you all are playing, Democrats and Republicans in DC, but let's be very clear. There's a woman who is Epstein's right hand who's currently serving a prison sentence. If there's some there, I'm sure she knows it, right? To my dear brother, why is it that no committee has utilized their constitutional authority in Congress and demanded that she testify before a congressional committee under oath? You have the power to do so, sir. Everybody has the power to do so. For some reason, every single one of you is staying away from it. Now, I'm sure there's some Democrats on that list. I don't give a damn. I'm sure some Democrats will be implicated. I don't care. At this point, I'm with MAG on this one. I want to see all of it. I want every bit of it to come out. And let the chips fall as they may. We know this, Donald Trump is not in the business of protecting other people. He's in the business of protecting himself. We know that. There may be some collateral damage, and I think that's what you guys are scared of. There's more. On that note, an amendment demanding that President Donald Trump's administration release all files related to the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein was shot down by Republicans on the House Rules Committee on Monday. What? The amendment, which was introduced by Representative Ro Khanna, we've had that representative on this program, was rejected by every Republican president during the vote except Representative Ralph Norman, who voted with Democrats in favor of demanding that the Trump administration release the Epstein files After the amendment was voted down by the Republicans, including the House Rules Committee chairperson, Virginia Foxx, Republican, North Carolina, Representative Jim McGovern said he was shocked by the outcome. Shocked by the outcome. And in the biggest case of, I know that ain't who I think it is, even Kevin Spacey is asking for the Epstein files to be released. He posted on X, release the Epstein files, all of them. For those of us with nothing to fear, the truth can't come soon enough. Spacey wrote on X on Tuesday, quote, I hate to make this about me, but the media already has. Spacey was referencing the fact that his name was included in an unsealed court document or unsealed court documents related to the late billionaire, Jeffrey Epstein, and a lawsuit against his associate, Miss Maxwell. Now, here's the thing. Once again, Miss Maxwell is still alive. Miss Maxwell is in prison. Miss Maxwell was the right-hand woman of Epstein, according to victims, according to the governmental narrative, and according to everyone who has spoken about this on record. So I think it's quite surface level leadership to call for a vote to demand Trump to release the files when Congress has the authority to bring Ms. Maxwell in front of the American public via a committee hearing, put her under oath. She can't refuse the subpoena. Why can't she refuse the subpoena? Because she's already in the penal system. Once the warrant goes out for said hearing, the marshal is required by law to produce Ms. Maxwell pursuant to federal law. And your constitutional authority is intact because you have this available to you at all times as a member of Congress. So why are you playing these games? All right, Sharon, thoughts here.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. And according to sources that I've been reading about in the last several days, Ghislaine Maxwell wants to testify. She would like to take a trip in front of these lawmakers and tell her version of the story that she and her attorneys claim has never fully been told. They don't even believe she should be behind bars because of a deal that was reached with Epstein himself. How can she be behind bars if they reached this deal with him and he was set to be released? That said, look, these lawmakers are pulling a fast one on us, and that is deep state-ish. It's really ridiculous. And as far as Kevin Spacey goes, come on, man. But actually, that's good PR, I think, if he's not who people for years believed him to be, to come up and step up and say, release the files. Why not? Dershowitz, too. Yeah, he said he only got a massage, but release the files, Doc.
Yeah, release the files. We shall see what happens. A lot of people who are involved with Trump were involved in the original cover-up of Epstein out of Florida. That part hasn't come out yet, but we'll talk about it in detail. We'll see what Congress does this week and get back to it.